私ヘルヤチブとは
Dobrý,
Which way? Are you? Oh, hey, let's get cozy. It's like a reverse Oreo. Where you going? We had a moment for just a moment. All right.
Made it weird.
So
I'll take prison games for $200.
So will I. Now, we just were talking about this. You played football. You had a full ride scholarship at the U of L, right?
At the University of Oregon, Fighting Ducks.
Go Ducks!
Now I feel at home.
Now, what I was curious is, while you were in college, I'm sure every athlete has aspirations to go pro. What was it like to change your mentality when you were like, okay, I know this isn't going to happen? How did you decide, or were you always acting while you were going to college?
Well, I kind of came in, I approached football a little differently. I mean, I always thought of football as theater. Like, I always wanted to be an actor. Practices were rehearsals, and game days were performances. So my ultimate goal was to never be a professional football player. It was always to achieve like some sort of notoriety that may help me get into the acting profession a little easier. Because if you notice the landscape now of acting, you know, I mean, look at how many people that are singers or rappers or ball players that if you knew how many roles that I've lost to LL Cool J.
Well, the ladies love
Or just ball.
now, so basically, you use football as it was like the ends justify, or the means justify the ends,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
So you always knew that you were. That's pretty sweet. Now, do you, from playing football and everything, do you have any injuries that affect anything when you're doing roles?
Everything.
Really?
Everything hurts. But you know, I'm old, so it's. Yeah, I mean, it's just the list is just endless. But you know, it's. I just did probably the most physically demanding role that I've ever done. So the fact that I lived through it was you know, I'm holding up okay.
Well, and now that makes me ask another question. I was wondering, with like you saying it does affect some roles, or did it affect any of your role in The Dark Knight Rises, and what was that one? Can you tell us anything? All right, probably not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you everything that I can tell you right now.
Yes, all right.
Немножко вообще до себя.
That's all that gets? That should get, this whole place should be going insane right now.
And there you have it.
All right, maybe I was wrong.
I had a question. You voiced Magneto in X-Men Evolution.
Yes.
I got some fans of that show. What was it? Did you feel pressure because you were like doing a really notable character in comics? Did you feel any pressure for that, or?
Well, I just wanted to make sure to do it justice. Also because, you know, I'm such a fan of Ian McCullen and his voice that I just wanted to make sure that you know, people would accept it, you know, as Magneto. So there was a little bit, but you know, it was fun though. It was fun.
Now, what would you say, so far up to this point in your career, what would you say you're most proud of professionally?
The fact that I never got pregnant.
Come sit over here again.
You know, I think that hopefully my best work is yet to come. You know, it's I think if you ever reach you know, the point where you think you've done your best, then you can't ever progress beyond that. So hopefully my best work is yet to come.
I'm amped for that movie, I tell you that.
I was gonna ask a question for Stargate, real quick. Stargate fans? How did you prepare for your role of Teal on Stargate?
I would go to the mall and just frown at people. I would call up my ex-wife and then go to the mall and just mean mug people. Going into it, myself nor the writer-producers really knew what we wanted to do with Teal. In the screen test, there were 3 people there auditioning for Daniel Jackson. There were 3 people there auditioning for Carter, 3 for General Hammond. No one was auditioning for O'Neill. We kind of knew who that would be. But there were 10 Teal'cs. So, and some were Asian, some were white. Only 2 of us were black. And it was the only black guys there were myself and Marcus Chong. And so they really didn't have a definitive idea of what Teal'c would be like. So a lot of it was just kind of being open to exploration of it. And if you ever saw the first, especially the pilot, I didn't have his voice, like what he would sound like. So if you watch the original pilot, I was actually trying to mimic Yul Brynner from The King and I. And that's no joke, I really was. I thought, that would be kind of cool for Teal'c to kind of have that. But then when I went to re-record the voice when they reissued the pilot, I looked at Brad and I said, why didn't anyone tell me that was ridiculous? Because you're bigger than everyone, Chris. But I mean, when I heard the voice that I did in the pilot, it's almost embarrassing. I don't know what I was thinking.
Now with Stargate and the Batman series and also even you can say doing Magneto's voice, those all have such huge followings. Now, what's the craziest thing that a fan has said to you, either extremely happy or on the other side? Because I know you must have had something where you're like, what?
How many kids are in it?
Earmuffs.
Yeah.
I think the strangest thing was probably how many kids are in here? I guess I could keep it kind of vague. In Amsterdam, we.
All right, fair enough. All right, next story. So many stories start that way.
There once was a reporter from Nantucket. No, there's been some strange things. We were doing press, so we didn't want to do it because we had so many press requests that we just kind of did everybody in one room. Just said whatever questions you have, so they'd raise their hands. And some of the questions were good, some weren't. And in the middle of like 7 reporters, this female reporter stands up and with dead serious says, "What size are you?" And I was like, I'm sorry? She's like, and so I thought it was just, that the translation was bad. So I was like, you mean how tall? She's like,
For the kids, she was asking about his shoes.
yes, yes. And so of course I replied, 14. No, really, that's my shoe size. What dirty Northwest minds you have.
You covered that well.
Story. I was going to ask about the makeup in for Teal'c. Like, you had a lot of makeup. You had to get there really early every day. What was the process? Like, how did that happen?
Well, actually, it became less than originally intended. Teal'c originally had. Does anyone know what this is called? When you see Egyptians, like how we picture. What is that? What is that thing called?
The pointy beard thing?
Yeah. The pointy beard thing. Does it have a name?
Someone yelled something.
What?
A goatee. There's a soul patch.
Yeah, that's as bad as his pointy beard thing.
Pointy beard thing was better.
Well, so whatever that's called, not a goatee. But he also had earlobes that were probably maybe that long. So he had these kind of weird ears, because I guess they were trying to do a takeoff on kind of the Spock thing. And I mean, I was kind of goldish, but in the beginning I was really gold. How they conceptualized the character. And so the first day that we went to do the makeup test, the makeup took probably almost 3 hours. And then they realized, well, if he is this race of people, then every single person that is a Jaffa would have to have, you know, the earlobes and all that. So we did away with those. And then during the camera test, my dealie, Bob, would just like, you know, come in and take, 5-10 minutes to glue it back on, and I would say one word, and so then they did away with that, and then when I originally screen tested for Teal, I had like Momoa length hair, but how kind of, maybe in fact a little bit longer than Momoa's hair is now. And hey, who was here for Momoa's talk? Isn't he great? Did you guys understand one word he said? Because I love Jason. Jason is like my little brother. I've known him for probably, I don't know, 8-9 years. I haven't understood one word in 8-9 years. But anyway, so so I cut my hair, thinking I hadn't gotten the role. Then I got called to screen test, so now there's this issue of what kind of hair should Teal have. So Jonathan Glasner approached me and said, "Hey, what do you think about being bald?" And I said, "Well, I'm willing to try it, but how long would I have to be bald?" So he said, not more than 3 or 4 episodes. So 7 years later. But we did actually. See, you have to kind of keep me on track because I'll just start rambling. We actually, by the end of it, cut my makeup time down to probably 20 minutes or so. Wow. So it got really quick. Because originally the symbol was 3 pieces. And so even if you watch some of the early episodes, in fact, there was one episode, and I can't recall the name. In fact, it might have even been The Enemy Within. That the entire episode, well, parts of the episode, because we filmed out of order, but one entire day's work, the tattoo is upside down, because and no one caught it. None of the producers caught it. No, the editors, the director didn't catch it. So there was nothing we could do. And in fact, even watching it, no one caught it, and it was actually fans that pointed out, why is this symbol different in some scenes?
I think we should open up.
Yeah, we want to open up to questions now for Christopher Judge. Okay. Come on up to the microphones.
We're going right over here.
I'm also a big fan of Stargate SG-1.
Just not.
And I was
How
wondering,
big are you?
really big fan.
Boom! Call back.
And being military myself, I do a lot of military discipline and, like my physique and the way I present myself. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, did you have to go through classes in order to understand how you presented yourself militarily, especially how we present ourselves on a daily basis?
We a lot of times had an actual advisor on set. Rob Fournier, Special Forces guy, and he was the one who kind of would instruct us like on how to. I never really had to do it because I would always say, well, Teal's an alien. Like, why would he, why would he, hold? that, you know. Well, you know, that was one argument, but you know, I just wanted to be cool. You know, so yeah, we actually did have a technical advisor there almost all the time.
And my second question is, when you had went from Stargate SG-1 to Stargate Atlantis, I know the scene must have been really difficult for you to go from America